when you move to a different continent, you get lonely sometimes. So one of the only resolutions to that is to go out to networking events, to clubs, to malls, to concerts, to whatever it is. And you meet some very interesting people, so it's been making me think about the past couple of years just in general, all the crazy individuals who just stand out in my mind, and sometimes we like to go into deep conversations about life, business, and you learn a lot from smart individuals. So today we're talking, this isn't like fully related with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, but I thought you guys might be interested in this anyways. So today we're talking about what you can learn from millionaires. And these are both people from in real life. Well, I mean, in real life as in like alive today that I met, and from people who were writing books and some who haven't been alive for the past 50 or 100 years. Anyways, my name is Mike or Kubera, and education is one of the most important, valuable things out there, other than, of course, time, which is a beautiful commodity which so many of us like to waste, unfortunately. So if you're young or if you're old, you know, age is just a number. No, but seriously, like, you're able to do whatever you want as long as you put your mind to it and you set aside the time for it. But, of course, if you're younger, you have more opportunities present for yourself. Anyways, if you've got a lot of time, I'd be putting my head up in the books and trying to read as much as you can. Biographies are always great to learn from other people who are successful, because at least you can learn from their mistakes. Or hopefully, like, you know, if you repeat the same thing as them, it's going to be stuck in your brain like, oh, I'm not going to do that again because that was a waste of time, money, efforts, whatever it was. If you look at the top successful millionaires and billionaires out there of startups and, you know, even for cryptocurrencies, you're able to see like, oh, this is not what I want to do. And then all the good characteristics, a lot of the people at the top have the same stuff going on for themselves. And you're like, maybe it's just a coincidence, or maybe, you know, everything's kind of aligned on purpose. There's something to it. You guys know that my top 3 favorite books are, well, these two come first and foremost. Think and Grow Rich. If you haven't read this, definitely check it out if you're an entrepreneur and you want to make some money. And unlike other get-rich-quick books, this isn't really about like, hey, here's a business model, here's how you do it, and repeat everything step by step. It's more about mentality, and it's talk about like the mentality of Rockefeller and Carnegie and Vanderbilt and all the, you know, greats from like 100, 150 years ago. And it's written by a man whose name is similar to Carnegie's, but he wasn't, but he still turned into a millionaire anyways because he exactly knew he had the formula, the secret. It is a little clickbaity, markety like that, but, you know, there's a good underlying message to it. This one's just good. Whoa, okay, I realized I mixed up the names. See, I love him so much that I mixed up. This is Dale Carnegie, that's Napoleon Hill. Whoops, wrong guys. Both of them became millionaires. Now he's got like his own university and stuff. But still, both of them interviewed super successful people. I think both of them interviewed the same people, the super successful people at the time. So how to win friends and influence people, this really helps with business, relationships, family, whatever it is. Definitely read this. And, of course, I just got a book from Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, this isn't his best book. I'd probably recommend Crush It. But Gary Vaynerchuk is another man to learn a lot from hustle. So, yeah, you should definitely be reading books about other smart and successful individuals and learning about how Mark Zuckerberg built his Facebook empire, about how Jeff Bezos built Amazon. And I think, you know, Jeff Bezos has definitely a chance to become a trillionaire, or Elon Musk. You're able to look into those guys. Or, you know, the guys behind Google. What's really interesting is if you look into PayPal, all of them went on to do good things, like Elon Musk and all the guys who came up with like crazy companies. Like, they all think alike, right? So while going to clubs and networking events, which I'm not really a big fan of, but I like interacting with people, I like kind of going into uncomfortable situations so I can learn and train myself to get better at it. I'm naturally an introvert. I don't really like communicating with the other humans of this planet. However, I have to, because it's a society that we live in. May I always be a part of this club? No, I'll probably move far, far away from it in the future when I retire. But since I'm in it for the moment, I have to put on my masks. I have to play the game and see it for what it is, as long as you're well aware of that. But yesterday, I was talking to some individuals, which it was kind of like a little bit of a spiritual moment. You got to have like a balance. You can't go full spiritual, but you can't go full working, where it's like eventually you will burn out. And then once this is burned out in here, you know, it's gone. Your empire is gone. Everything, fortunes are lost. So the common things I see, and mainly this is like the attitude that successful entrepreneurs have, especially guys with millions of dollars, they're just on a different thinking plane already. It's like when you talk with them, they're slower, like not slower in here, but like they just move, they react slower, they're calm and collected, they understand. They don't really care about the stimuli of the environment. They're just like, whatever, we'll see what happens, you know. They're okay with everything. They've seen it all. They've seen so much things already, like in just 1 month, that the average person wouldn't even be able to comprehend it. They're used to it all, whatever business you come from. The number one thing is you cannot care what other people think about you, because no matter what you do, you will have people who will hate on you, who will say, oh, I could do this better. Okay, then why didn't you? Why aren't you working on it? And it's kind of funny to just diffuse such situations, but still, it's like, if you really get hurt by every single comment, even for YouTube, for example, or for cryptocurrencies, your family tells you, no, I would invest in this, I would invest in da, 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 da. It's like, okay, well, you should listen to your own advice. Practice what you preach, my friend. But there's a lot of people who are afraid to take risks, and so you cannot care what other people think about you. You kind of have to be in love with yourself, and you have to understand and be fully confident in your abilities that, yes, I will do whatever it takes to reach my goals, or at least some of them. You have to set high goals, but realistic goals, because if they're way too high, if they're up in the sky, you know, your head's in the clouds, yeah, you have to be realistic about it in a certain sense. A lot of people in your life will, I know the camera's a little bit messy, but a lot of people in your life will try to help you, but then their bias leaks in, and you know, it's kind of like the crabs pulling down a crab into a barrel, because they don't want one person. Humans don't want others to succeed. They want it to be the same. They don't like change, usually. So that's when you find someone who's really quality, you make them their friend forever. No, I mean, seriously, you should have a mastermind group where it's just a bunch of you guys who are like fully entrepreneurs, and you're going for it, and you believe in each other. Sometimes you tell each other the hard truth, like, oh, this is not going to work out. This is why this sucks. You need to improve this. And it's like, stop being delusional. So you forge your own path. You don't really follow others. You cannot become rich working for other people. Like, you can if you're their apprentice or whatever, if you're an apprentice to a billionaire, but do you know how many situations like that are in this planet? Like, not very many. If you're working a 9 to 5, eventually you will burn out and will fall back just like the others. And that is if your company and job stay where they are currently. Because some companies, even if they're billion-dollar corporations and everything's been going fantastic for the past 50 years, suddenly, boom, bankruptcy. And everybody's laid off, or maybe just a random company lays off like 20%, boom. Everything's gone. You weren't prepared. If you're working by yourself, if anything happens, you have to blame yourself. You're not able to throw the blame onto other people. At least, though, you're able to control your time and what your efforts are going into, and you're not going to be wasting any time arguing with other individuals and their mistakes and all that. But you do have to do a lot more work, so it's up to you. But the recommendation is don't listen to others who don't know what they're talking about. Do take advice, but make sure to be a little bit skeptical and try to examine any biases that might come from whoever it is, right? A lot of family and friends are in disguise where they're trying to help you, and they honestly think they're helping you with whatever they're throwing out at you. But most of them have no idea what they're talking about, and actually taking to their advice will make your life a lot more miserable. You have to do it for yourself. You have to be passionate, and when you rise up every single day, this is what you feel you are destined for. If you feel it fully in your heart, burning, that yes, you don't, I mean, money's important, fame's important, and success, and all these fun things, and Lambos, what the heck, and Lambos and all that, but listen, eventually, once you get to a certain point, let's say you got like 10 million bucks, you just don't care anymore. It's a game. It's just a little bit of a competition between other people at the top. It's a lonely road to be there at the top, but you have to sacrifice a lot of things. The number one thing you can do is spend the next couple of years of your life grinding and hustling every single day, so for the rest of your life you're doing better than every single pro, or at least like 99% of the population out there. I'd rather choose, you know, Gary Vee says always, take the next 12 to 24 months of your life and work every single hour and just grind it out so that you're able to eat caviar for the rest of your life. With cryptocurrencies, if anybody wants to start in this business, whatever it is that you're doing, and you have people who doubt you, just remember that even Nobel Prize winners, like I look at on the Daily Mail, and the Daily Mail is just horrible with the comments. The people who are, I don't know, man. I don't even want to talk about it, but I remember this one article which kind of changed the way I view things. It was this girl who won a crazy Nobel Peace Prize or whatever for some... She was a genius. She was transforming the world. She was helping our planet. Whenever you have brilliant minds like that are actually helping progress society, there's always someone who's like, oh, I can do it better. Oh, you should have done this. You should have done that. And here's why, like, okay, she did this, but what about the other bad things? It's just like, yo, like, come on. So if you're expecting praise, or, you know, you're waiting for somebody to be proud of you, listen, no one really fully cares, except you. I mean, you should yourself. But life is like a game. Treat it as fun, and whatever bonuses come into it are, that's it. It's just a bonus. It's an add-on. It's like downloadable content. But you don't need that stuff. You don't need praise. You don't need other individuals. It's good. It's good to have others to relate to. And also, your mastermind group should be like the 5 closest people around you are who you're going to become. So if you have 5 millionaire friends, chances are you're going to make some money as well. If you have 5 friends who have never been to high school before, and you know they've lived a life of crime, yeah, it's going to be hard to break out of that. Also, sometimes you do have to drop friends that unfortunately are toxic to you. It's lonely, it hurts, but you got to do what you got to do in certain situations. Anyways, my name is Mike. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I wish you guys all the best. And it is a lonely journey to get to the top, but you got to do it. You got to go for it. You got to make that money, save up to go on the offense. And then whenever someone tells you this and that and it starts to hurt your feelings, understand that whatever anxiety you feel from that, or nerves, or, you know, stress, treat it as good energy, because whenever someone doubts you, that should be fuel that's added to the fire that motivates you every single day to succeed. I wish you guys all the best, and go for a niche or industry that you're able to dominate, and choose one area of life you're able to focus on and get extremely good at it. Peace, guys. Have a good one.